What's up, everyone, and welcome to the Sunday Recap Podcast. This is the 37th episode, and I'm here with Pastor Bunk.
What is up,
What is
everyone?
up?
Good to be back.
You were just here.
I was just
like.
here.
Yeah.
It's almost like I got rebooked quick. Let's go.
Let's go. Yeah, it's awesome. Well, we got a lot to get into. But first of all, I just want to say great job on the new core value message that you spoke on. Yeah, let's go.
Thank you.
Not official new core value,
yet.
but I love it. And I love that you threw your slang in there. You know, it isn't failure isn't final. It's failure ain't final.
I know. I wish I could talk normal. I really do
But
sometimes.
you can't. I thought you were going to say, when you were talking about Peter walking on water, I thought you were going to say something about how you say it. It's that Florida, though.
Well, you know, it's funny to me, like, I don't even know I say it that way till everybody points it out.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, when I was in Florida, no one ever corrected the way I said things.
Yeah.
I come to here, I must be such a fish out of water. Everybody's like, bro, why do you say it like this, like this? I'm like, you know what? No one in my life's ever told me that.
Yeah.
Where would someone at?
Yes.
Come on, school system. Where are you at?
Yes, that was really funny. I thought you were gonna throw something like, but no, you can't. A lot of it is funny because you know you work with a lot of youth, like and the youth. You even said in the message about like I know how boys will dog on you. Those youth kids, they won't let you get away with saying something.
Not at all.
No,
not at all the time. Why do you say wooder? And I'm like, because to me it sounds like water. I don't even know. Like I got to think about it and I still can't say it right.
Yeah. Well, before we get into the message, I guess we'd be, I don't know if the word is remiss, but we would be greatly mistaken. We didn't talk about the crazy week that we've had, the amazing week we've had together.
We were going back to Cali.
We're going back to Cali.
Let's go.
That's right. We were fortunate enough that Pastor Steph and Pastor James invited our pastoral team and some department heads to go to a conference, a leaders conference in Bethel and Redding, California.
Redding, California. Let's go. Shout out.
Go. It was awesome. We left on Tuesday, and then we came back Saturday. So it was a good chunk of time.
Yeah, great week.
Yeah, and
sure.
yeah. So first of all, thank you, Pastor James, Pastor Steph, for letting us go, especially in a crazy time like this. Christmas train.
Christmas train. There's so many reasons not to do that.
Yes, exactly.
So it shows how important it was for our pastors to bring us on this trip to be like, we just got to pause and go.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's just talk about that just for a couple minutes. All right, so anything on the trip that really like stood out to you? This could be anything. Well,
I'll tell you what. So we had two SUVs, full-size SUVs. You know, it's 8 of us on the trip.
Yes.
And then I guess Pastor Stephenson was like, let's all just cram in one vehicle.
Yeah.
And ride around, which was fine.
Yes.
And it turned out there was so many laughs.
Yes.
So much fun.
Yes.
Just riding around and everybody just goofing around.
Yes,
so
very fun.
We don't have a chance to do that sometimes during the week because everything's going on.
And we're all serious.
Yeah. But when you put everybody in a car together, things get wild.
Time.
So yeah, we laughed a lot. I think.
And then I always love, I think me and you are both, we think about this, like when you think of, because we worked on different projects together, like, you know, with camp or Belize or the Christmas train, the elf show, things like that. And when you work with like a small crew, there's a lot of fun, like references and, you know, different like sayings and things like that. And did you make a note list of all of our sayings that we said?
I started one, yeah. I kind of like to remember like, what are all the funny things that we said just to bring it back up? And, you know, those little inside jokes you come up with or
that's
what
always
happened on the trip.
Yes, it's always so much fun to be able to do stuff like that. And it was so cool. First of all, Redding is like, I mean, we're from Texas. I mean, you're from Florida, but even in Florida too, there's not that a lot of crazy elevation, you know?
Yeah.
Like, so, I mean, we were in the mountains at the church.
Yes.
It was crazy.
You just look around and go, bro, this is wild.
Yes, and so it was funny because like you walk out of the doors of Bethel and then there's just like all of this crazy mountain scenery and all those cool trees, and you're like, if you just had an awesome experience encounter with God, then you walk out and you see all that, you're like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, back in Texas, you know, here in Texas, you walk out and go, I know God made this, but it's not as cool as what God made in Redding. Let's say that. Like, yes, it looks a little cooler out there.
Yes, we got good sunsets here. I know we got that. That's what we got going for us. But yeah, the nature was awesome there, and then it was just cool. You've been to a lot of conferences, you know, in your life.
I love a conference, for sure.
Yes, conferences are fun. But this one was like, because you've been to a lot, and you were telling me what's different about this leaders conference that we went to than other ones you went to.
Yeah, and let me say this, man. All the conferences are great.
Yeah.
But, you know, most conferences I've been to, it really, you know, you normally have a main session, a main speaker, and then you have a lot of breakouts, which, I mean, I understand that if you're working in ministry. Like, hey, if you work with kids, you can go to this breakout. If you want to know how to keep volunteers, go to this breakout. You want to know how to do, whatever that is. It's normally a lot of breakouts like that. Well, this one, all the sessions were together.
Yep.
And it was also, even though you talked about different things, it was really just to me about your relationship with Jesus.
Yeah.
And it made me think like, yeah, I can go to a session on how to keep volunteers, but if my relationship with the Lord's not good, like, what does it matter?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I've never been to one like this, where, normally it's only the practical things, which I think if the spiritual's not right, does the practical really matter?
Yeah.
So it was cool how th're like, nah, we're really just focusing on you and the Lord and your relationship and things to look out for. But it was all basically based on where are you at spiritually?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because everything flows from that.
Yes.
So it was definitely, at first I was like, okay, it's a different take. But it was really good. I mean, I think, again, the days were packed.
Yes.
There was morning, afternoon, and night sessions.
And in the morning you had 3 20-minute messages, then a 45-minute message.
Yeah.
And that was after worship.
Yeah.
That was after an hour of worship.
Yes.
So 3 20-minutes, then a 45-minute. And then the afternoons it wasn't worship, but it was like some sort of like, activation, or maybe they were praying or prophesying over people for like, I think maybe 30 minutes or something, and then a 45-minute message. And then that night you had an hour worship and then like an hour message.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was pretty packed, like for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely jam-packed.
Yes, and then the times that we weren't in service, we were together, bonding, talking about the church and talking about, us and everything. So that was, literally, we got everything that we could get out of that trip.
Yes.
Yes.
There wasn't a moment wasted, I don't think.
No, for sure. And it was so cool too because we were talking about how international the crowd was.
Yes.
I mean, they had 90 people from Taiwan. They had he had a list of, I think, like 30 countries. And everything that he listed, got multiple, 4 or 5 people that were like, woo!
Yeah, such an international crowd that comes to Bethel.
Yeah, that was crazy. And it was cool because what you were saying, working on, your relationship with Jesus, it specifically being a leaders conference, it was like, all right, even I think the tagline was generals take ground in the promised land, I think, right?
Yeah.
And it was all kind of themed around the promised land, which is so funny because that's what we've been talking about.
We've been on that for a minute
on that for a minute, so it was wild. Even, Pastor Bill Johnson, he went up there and he spoke on the year Jubilee even for a second too in his message, and we're all looking around like, is this for us? You know what I mean? Was this conference just for us? So it was crazy just to see. And it was cool because, even me and you for a minute towards the end, we got to talk to him, Pastor Bill, for a minute and kind of just be like, hey man, just for some, or hey pastor, not hey man, but hey, here's some confirmation. Not that you need any confirmation of what the Lord's doing, but over here at in Houston, Texas, the God has us on the same thing.
Yeah.
So it was really cool to share that with him. And it was awesome. I enjoyed it. They were able to talk about, it was the 6 areas of promise, right? And then they all had Pastor Bill Johnson spoke, and then Chris Valentin, and then Banning Liebscher from Jesus Culture.
Shout out Jesus Culture, Kim Walker.
Let's go.
Chris, I always mess up your last name, so I won't say it, but love you guys.
Kilala? Chris Kilala?
I think so, yeah. Okay. I always mess it up. You know me.
But listen, if you guys don't know Pastor Bunk's favorite worship album of all time, it's some Jesus Culture. It's Come Away.
Yes.
Yes, that's rank 1.
I still listen to that to message prep every message.
Yes.
And it's circa 2010, 11.
Yeah, it's still on repeat.
I'm stuck in my ways, but man.
So he spoke. That was cool. And then Jedediah Thurner, he spoke too. So that was some of the speakers too. So that was really awesome.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool, man. Especially being a leaders conference because I don't, if we're honest, I think a lot of times in leadership, you're looking for, again, everybody wants to grow their church. Everybody wants to, take care of their people. But it's so easy to get caught up in what's the system.
Yeah.
Or what is the new thing we can do? What can we, the practical things, or again, we'll talk about this later. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. I think sometimes it's well, if we give away donuts and coffee, can we do, what can we do? Because it's a little more practical when I don't know if you've ever been there and heard somebody say, and this sounds crazy. Someone's like, well, how did you do X? Well, we just prayed and the Lord showed up. You're but for real.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You're there's got to be something else.
Yeah.
Where this conference is really focused on that part of you and your ministry and going what about that?
Right.
What about if we didn't? And again, there's nothing wrong with it. Like I said, I think you need spiritual and practical for sure. But sometimes even me and the things that I do here at Ellis Church, sometimes I can lean on my knowledge of ministry.
Right.
And putting stuff together and doing this, sometimes more than we pray about it. And if you're not careful, it's easy to do that.
Yeah.
And because you're working for the Lord, it's all a good thing.
Right.
But like, if you're just doing it to do it, like, and you're not seeing the outcome you want, maybe it's because maybe the Lord is even like, hey, we need to pivot or shift. But,
right.
I just think for leaders, because the job is so hard. And your heart is, you want to do the right things. And sometimes it's like, well, if we just do this, I saw a church down the road, it did ... If we do ...
Right. If we use this formula, and I think that a lot of times we forget about this other factor. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, all right, so let's think about what you can come up with, what I can come up with, and we'll put that together. It's like, well, what about, that hidden factor of like, what is number one, prayer in general, just like just prayer behind things and like following what God wants us to do, like spending time with him. I think, like you said, we can get so in our heads about like what we can do, really the power of us, that like we completely, miss out on maybe what God's wanting us to do. And probably, I'm not going to say all the time, but probably a lot easier than the grind that we feel sometimes, It's a different type of grind and submission when you're trying to see where the Lord's taking you, And like, it says like his yoke is easy, his burden is light, and we put it all on us to be able to see what we can cook up,
Yes.
And that never.
It's like Pastor James always says, you want to get in shape, you
work out, eat healthy.
Work out and eat healthy. Like, I know, but like, come on, what's the other ingredient? It's like pray and have faith. Like, I know, but we just feel like we need to be moving and doing something on our end, I think.
Yes, for sure. I mean? We're like, it can't be this easy just to rely on him.
Yes.
And I think it's so funny, but it's like, and then when you find yourselves, when do people a lot of times find Jesus? At the end of their self.
Yes.
You know what I mean? At the end of your rope, where you're like, I literally have tried everything. And it's like, well, you didn't try everything. You tried everything that you could do. Like, just give it to him and see what. And that was, like you said, I think that was just really just the underlining theme current through all these messages.
Well, even for this week, like, do I have a 1, 2, 3 steps to implement in my ministry to make it better? I don't. But what I do have is a game plan for myself to go deeper with the Lord.
Yeah.
And my faith is built. I'm like, why? Everything else is going to flow out of that relationship.
It just gets taken care of. Yeah.
And I'm glad I don't come back and go, all right, I'm trying to implement 10 new things that I learned at conference.
Yeah.
What I need to implement is making sure my heart is right with the Lord.
Yeah.
And everything's going to flow from that relationship and go. And it seems like, it seems too easy.
Yeah.
Like, hold up.
Yeah, I think maybe it was Lauren Valentin who said it. I'm not sure. And I'm not even sure if this is what she was talking about, but it makes me think of, I think she had like a Christmas tree analogy where she's like, when you're talking about your relationship with God being a priority, what does that mean? Like a priority, right? Because then we go, okay, like let's just say our list of priorities is the Christmas tree, right? So that the priority would be the star that's on top. It's like, no, it's the whole tree. It's the thing that you build everything around. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not this one piece where you go, oh, this is at the top of my list. Like, no, it's the list. Like, everything flows from that.
Yeah, it's almost like if your tree's ganky, no matter how nice of ornaments you put on there, like, it's not going to hold up.
Yeah,
or last,
for sure. And so, so I really like that. And so that hopefully, we felt like it was a really, really, great time for all of us together and spiritually as well. And we want to bring that back to here. And I think you definitely did bring it back on Sunday with such a good message of the overflow of, getting poured into.
Yeah, for sure.
So
yeah, Sunday was great.
Sunday was awesome. And failure ain't final. Let's go.
Failure ain't final, baby. Let's
go. I love that so much. I actually thought it was cool. You started off like kind of talking about, you said, you may have heard this story before. I got a couple stories for you. And then you said, which I thought was interesting, was like, you didn't say these words, but you were kind of talking about the Bible verse and like scripture and like Bible story fatigue.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, I think a lot of listeners of this pod are longtime churchgoers, longtime maybe podcast listeners or message. Like, they've been a part of so many different messages, right?
Yeah.
So, like, when you hear a story, you can go, like you were saying on Sunday, okay, they're talking about this Bible story, and they want to speak on this. Okay, I think if I walked away, I can come up with what they're going to say.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you've been in church any amount of time, like certain stories you've heard so many of, or so many messages of,
right?
That it's easy to be like, okay, I already know what's happening here. But the Lord is still, using that, and the Holy Spirit's going to speak through that, just what you need to hear. So I don't want anybody to tune out because like, oh, I know this one.
Right. Yeah,
you know
what else can you tell me about Noah's Ark? You know what I mean?
Right,
what else can you tell me about the children
there's
of Israel?
Boat and there's animals. I got it. Like, well, there's a little more to it. But
yes, for sure. Yeah, I think that's really true. And I think that's, was good for this message, but for any message for listeners going forward, it's just like, number one, let's just say this. Let's say you did preach the same message every Sunday. I think it says scripturally that you can get something different out of that every time.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
I would like to test I've always thought about this. I'd like to be like, here, everybody take one page, everybody get the exact same notes, and have 5 different people preach it, and just see how, because all 5 would be totally different.
Yeah.
Because the Lord is leading people down, to focus on different things.
Yeah.
But like, to me, that's one of the coolest things about how we all can read the same scripture and all take something away from it different.
Yeah, it's funny because you'll me talking to a lot of different pastors and you as well, like through your life, it's just like you'll talk to a pastor and you'll be like, man, that piece, that certain thing you said was so good. And you're like, really? That was kind of an afterthought in my message. Like, that's what landed with you?
Right. Yeah, for
and when
sure.
you get feedback on a Sunday, you're like, man, I threw that in at the last second because of yada, yada, yada. Or like, that wasn't my main point at all, but it's funny because, it says the word's living. So it's like speaking to you and it's reading you. Like I think Pastor James says a lot like, can you read the text, but like, can you let the words read, the scriptures read you?
Right.
Because like you said, like however many people we got in our church on Sunday, like did someone walk away with a lot of the same revelation? For sure. But like, I'm sure a lot of people got different things out of it because, like we said, it is a living word that's always going to resonate and speak to you the way that the Lord wants to speak to you.
I was going to say, the Holy Spirit knows exactly what you need and the way you need to hear it and what you need to hear. So, like I said, I've had many instances, people come up and go, hey, this is what I took. And you're like, I don't even think I said that at all. I don't mean that at all.
Yeah,
but like,
that's always funny.
Yeah. So
when you say something that you didn't even say, you're like, all right, you came in here for a reason on Sunday.
Sure.
Which is good. And so, I really liked you opening that up just because I think that's an important thing for everyone to know.
I didn't plan on that. So like, while I'm saying it, I'm like, should I even be saying this? Which I feel like I do that a lot.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I think it's funny too, just like, with anytime a pastor gets up, the pastor has their message, but they also maybe have been cooking and stewing on some things for a couple of weeks, being like, next time I speak, I feel like God want to share this with me, and I don't got a full message on it, but I want to let the body know. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I like that piece of it.
Yeah, I always like to go back through, like if I look at my notes afterwards and like the things that weren't in there.
Yeah.
There's so many things.
Right.
For as many things as you put in there that you want to say, there's that many more that just the Lord is leading in that moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. And those notes. And those notes that you make on Sunday are a guide,
Yeah,
but being Holy Spirit led, the Holy Spirit might be like, you need to spend 30 minutes on this part right here because this is what I got. This is the, you know what I mean? And you can feel it in the room too when like the room's really responding, and you feel it through the Holy Spirit. But like you're like being like, oh man, like this is what I'm supposed to be up here sharing today. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And I'm sure you've been a part of a lot of services where you go, all right, throw away the message. We spending time on this today.
Yeah.
Or throw away the message. We spending time in worship today, and we're going all the way through.
Yeah, even that in my notes, I'm looking at. It's funny, because you give all your notes to the production team, and they're putting in scriptures, and I was like, my bad, Nate. I know I had like 10 scriptures here. I'm like, I'm just going to go to the last one. I'm like, but sometimes it happens like that.
You'd rather have it, not need it, not have it.
Correct.
So we're as a part of the production team, we're honored to be able to put all those in, and whatever the Lord leads us to.
I feel like I'm always so scripture heavy. I'm like, apologize.
Yeah. But that's
Apologies
good.
Up front.
That's good to be scripture heavy.
Yeah. So I'm like, here's this whole. He's like, all of them highlighted. I'm like, yeah. My bad.
Yeah, I thought it was good. And so then going into your message, a lot of it was based around Peter. Yeah. And I actually put in my notes, I put Peter's L's. Like he went and hit all these different so to say L's. You know what I mean? Talking about, like him. I think you started with him walking on water. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like that was the first one. But going,
he gets a lot of hate for that, man. He gets a lot of hate for like why you doubting? And I know because Jesus man, bro, you ain't got faith for this. But like again, I said it then, I'll say it again. I'll say it every time. Like no one else stepped up.
Right. Yeah. Who else was walking? Like that? That's always the funniest thing too. Being like, dogging on him for falling in the water, but like literally being the only one with the faith to get out of the boat.
Yes. Yeah. Like you wouldn't think anybody's like, when they saw him doing it, goes, bro, I want to try.
Yeah.
Like, did nobody step out after him? And I believe they could have.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Could they have all been out there? Like, for sure. But like, I could also see him like, I'm going to wait and see what happens.
Yeah, and then he falls, and then they're like, man, knew that boy did. You know, it's so funny. Like, that's when he gets dunked on, so to say. But yeah, so I like, bringing those different things up. And Peter, like you said, being the one to have the faith, but also like keep on dropping the ball in some sort of way, you know? So what made you go into Peter as a person in general? Like, when it comes to the thing, failure isn't final, how does he stand out to you as like a depiction of, I mean, obviously through the stories, but like, was it looking through the stories and be like, hold up, this actually is a good person to speak on this message about, or did you have him in mind from the beginning?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I guess from hearing the story, even at conference, Jedediah talked about Peter a little bit about falling asleep in the garden, and it just made me think. Again, because I always go back to my own story, my own failures with the Lord, of thinking again the Paul versus. I said it Sunday, Paul versus Peter. Like, I want to be Paul, man. I want to be the guy that who was so the other way, arresting and murdering Christians, and had this encounter. And like I said, you can go through Paul's list, and bro, he's such a G, man. Yeah. Like, just so solid in what he believes, and like never faltered. And no matter what was happening, I was like, even in I think it's 2 Corinthians, he's like, I've been beat 39 times. I've been shipwrecked. Like, he goes through all these things, but let me tell you what, if I'm gonna boast about anything, I'm gonna talk about the Lord. I'm like, woo, bro, like, he just I want to be that. You know what I'm saying? And I always, like, I ain't gonna lie, part of me still resonates with Paul. Like, bro, I'm so Paul. But like, but the truth is, man, we're flawed, and like, and Peter was a guy who, much like David, when I go back to the old time, like, everybody thinks of David and Goliath and that little boy, and like, bro, David was a mess, but David continued to come back to the Lord. Now look at Peter, who, and I even can see a little bit of Peter in you, and let me explain that. Because Peter was and not in the failures, but Peter was just a guy that was out on the front lines and wasn't afraid to be out there. Yeah. So I think when you're out there on the front lines and you're taking risks, like, your L's are magnified, but so are your W's. So when I think of somebody that's outgoing and like not afraid to speak up, like, that's what Peter was in this group. Peter was the loud guy out front. Yeah. So his L's were louder, but so was his W's. Right. Like, how many of the other guys you don't even really hear about? So of course Peter's going to get put on blast. Why? Because he was the one out front leading. And when you go, you know what? I'm going to be out front. And either it's going to work great or it's not. Yeah. But everybody's going to know it. Yeah. So I think of anybody that's outgoing and out front and being the voice, like, there's risk and reward with that. And I think some guys just played it safe and like, I'm a disciple, but I'm like a background disciple. Yes. Yeah, for sure. I know what I mean? Yeah, absolutely. And something that I've always wanted to like share on this podcast too is like, I think the direction that our church is going into, of being someone that's going, all of us are saying, hey, we are a church that is going to try, and I feel like Bethel does a good job about this. We are going to try and go after the things of God. That's it. We're going to try. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And we are okay with missing because we were trying. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that needs to be a revelation that's brought to all of, the different believers that come and eat from this house, like living stones of being like, hey, like, I am a part of a congregation that is always going after the things of God. Yeah. You know what I mean? And listen, we're going to miss. Why? Because we're human. Right. Like, but like, would you rather miss someone trying, or would you rather miss trying to go after the things of God than to, like you're saying, play it safe and never truly be able to experience the fullness of Him? Yeah, I started to bring up that Michael Jordan quote. It's like, I missed this many shots. I've been trusted to win the game, all these things. And like, that's why I succeed, because I failed all these times. Like, no risk, no reward. Yes. And I think you can play it safe, even in your faith, and be like, I'm just going to be like, get out there. I mean, and I feel like that's what Peter did, because Peter was vocal. That Peter just got out there. So it got him on blast a lot, but also like on the day of Pentecost, like, none of these other guys probably even had the courage to even step up. Right. So Peter, I like that Peter kept failing. Yeah. Because it means he was trying. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I think so many times, like I said, we just want to play it safe in life with the Lord, of like, I don't want to get out of my comfort zone. I don't want to serve. I don't want to, I don't want to go on a mission trip. I don't want to, all those things are like, but like, bro, there's so much more on the other side of that. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad Peter didn't, after this, walking on water incident go, that's it. I'm just going to be a background.
Yeah, right. He kept going, which was good.
He kept going.
And it's kind of the same thing we talk about David too, right? Like David took some of the biggest L's, you know what we're talking about. But like he's the one why is he the one that's called after God's own heart? Like, because he kept going back to the Father.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, and I think for us, that's like such a good, you know, Peter and David to be able to look at those two and be like, those are some of the loudest names. David's one of the loudest names in the Old Testament. Peter's one of the loudest names in the New Testament. Like you're saying, because of the risk that they were taking to go after Jesus, right? And their human side obviously was always going to come through and fail, but they were not afraid to go back to him.
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
And I even I like, you know, you going down the list of being like, all right, so let me just say that. And I think it's so funny because, you know, having a group of friends, like, you know, like you got that one friend that like always, I think that's some of the reasons why we're afraid to stand. You know what I'm saying? Because standing for something also is liability to get dogged on for it too.
No, for sure.
You know, and that's a big thing. So, I think the other one was, you were saying, you know, Jesus being like, get behind thee, Satan. Yeah. You know, it's like, like that's your boy. That's your boy.
Like, again, and I was like, I can just see Peter's heart of like, I'm looking out for you. You know what I'm saying? But like, so many of those times, I think Peter's heart was in the right place.
Yeah, yeah.
As far as like, I'm trying to look out for you. I'm trying to like, he didn't want to stop what Jesus had to do, but like, I just think he loved him so much. And he's like, I'm going to be there for you. Like, that ain't nobody finna take you down.
Yeah.
I got you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And, but I like that Peter was just a vocal guy, because I feel like I always get myself in situations. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, sometimes I say something I shouldn't say, or like my heart's in the right place, but I don't handle it right. So I'm like, and again, as much as I want to be Paul, like, you know, people admire your strengths, but they connect with you through your weaknesses.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, like, I'm like, Peter, I get it, man. I know what that's like to feel like I thought I was doing the right thing and I just went about it the wrong way. And like, and I'm like, how many times is, you know, Jesus has never said those things to me personally, I feel like, but I'm like, he could have.
Yeah.
He'd have been like, Bunk, what are you doing, man? And I'm like, I thought I was doing this for you. I thought I was doing the right thing. And you're like, bro, you totally missed it. I'm like, I know, I did it again.
I mean, it was so, like he has so many, though, you know, I think you said then the foot wash, right? Jesus trying to wash his feet. And then him be like, no. You know what I mean? Him be like, what are you trying to do? And then you think about, like, put yourself in that situation. Like, you saw the things that Peter saw about Jesus. You know this guy. You believe him. You love him. You hold him to such this high esteem. And then he comes to wash your feet. Like, I think all of us would be like, no, we don't want you to do that.
Well, I wish I would have said it Sunday, but, you know, our church in Florida, we had like 30 churches in India.
Yeah.
And the first mission trip I went on was to India.
Yeah.
And we did a foot washing for our pastors there.
Yeah.
And it was a battle for us to wash their feet.
Yeah.
They thought they were less than us.
Yeah, yeah.
And I can just remember, what a holy moment that was. And there was, you know, tears and just, like, they didn't want us to wash their feet because they thought we were better than them.
Yeah.
And you're trying to, like, we're not, man. We're doing the same. We're doing it in different parts of the world, but, like, we're the same. We're brothers and sisters in Christ, and we're partners in the faith. But I can just remember, like, what an ordeal it was for us to wash their feet.
Yeah.
And what an honor it was for us.
Right.
And it was so hard for them to, like, to let us do that. And it was a literal battle.
Yeah, right.
Like, no, sit there. Like, we'll do yours. We're like, no.
Yeah.
Because that's who Jesus is. He's like, look, I'm going to show you how to humbly submit one to another.
Yeah, for sure.
And what a holy moment that can be when you realize, and like, even nowadays, you know, that's why I ask, like, whoever's been in a foot wash, there wasn't a lot of hands, because like, that freaks people out.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure, to be like, you know, let's do old-fashioned foot wash.
Yeah,
but man, it's something in the spirit of just submitting yourself one to another.
Yeah.
And so I understand Peter going like, there's no way.
Yeah.
Like, if Jesus walked in this room right now and goes, y'all kick them shoes off, put the dogs out. We'd be like, I ain't doing it.
No.
I ain't doing it.
Yeah. It's so funny, you know. I think we always do that. I think we do it a lot with, obviously, people like Peter, and I think the children of Israel a lot too. You know what I mean? Just being like, how could you do that? Yeah. But it's like, come on. Like, I think we do it with the Pharisees too sometimes, being like, how could y'all do that? But like, you got to put yourself in their shoes with what they knew.
Yeah.
We find ourselves being those characters a lot.
Well, and think about this. We have the Word. We have the Bible. We have all this
full
history.
Revelation.
And we still mess it up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I used to be that all the time. Like, I can remember early in my faith, I'm like, God, if you would just show up in some crazy miracle right now in front of me, I would never doubt you.
Yeah.
But I can read through the text of that happened in front of people all the time, and they still messed it up.
Yeah, they're like, yeah.
So do I really think like that one thing was going to really like submit my faith for the rest of my life?
Right.
Bro, come on, who you kidding?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we see miracles literally all the time, and we accredit it to whatever, or we have so many different accounts in our life of when Jesus showed up, but we still have seeds of doubt that
there's still situations that the Lord brings you out of, and the next one trips you up.
I was just talking to somebody the other day. Yeah. Yes, it's so funny because it's being like, because you're going, man, like, yeah, Jesus brought me through this, and then a new one comes out, and you go, God, I don't know about this one. That's what you said on Sunday. Is that same thing?
This one's too big. Like,
right?
Really?
Like, really? Like, what he just brought you through? So I always think that that's good. And I think after you said the full wash, you went into Gethsemane, right? Talking about the Garden of Gethsemane, and then I think that's when you drop the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. Yeah. Or opposite. What was it?
Yeah. Spirit is willing, flesh is weak.
Spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. How does that play into that story, that Garden of Gethsemane right there?
Well, I'm a guy, about defense.
Yeah.
I know offense wins ball games too, but everybody defense wins ball games. But I'm like, us just realizing like spiritually, like, what do we want to do for the Lord? How do we want to serve the Lord? Like, if you start talking about it, you can get yourself pumped up and go like the spirit, like, but the natural side of that is like, you got to make time to pray.
Yeah.
Got to make time to read the word. Like, I don't know about you, but man, sometimes just that alone is hard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're like, just that alone.
Yeah.
So I know even in, I know me, you and Leash talk about like conference highs. Or like you can come back from a conference and be so excited. Then the natural rhythm of life can get you back out of that. But like, for me to know that like, you know what I want to do for the Lord and what I actually do, sometimes are two different things.
Yeah.
Because the flesh side of me, I mean, it craves comfort. It craves what I want to do. But when I think about it spiritually, like, do I want to see all that God has for me? Of course. Do I want fresh revelation from Him? Yes. All right. A lot of that's found in prayer and reading of your word. Like, I know, but like I'm so busy today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know about you, but I don't know how many times I've been like, I'm so busy that like everything flows from that. So you can be as busy as you want to be, bro. But like, ultimately, at the end of the day, what God is wanting to do in you and through you comes from time with Him. And I know that.
Yeah.
We know that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think it's funny, like even like the way that we depict, like literally physically, like if we say our spirit's like, on the inside of us, I think a lot of people keep that in their mind. When they think about the spirit, they're like, yeah, my spirit is inside my body. You know what I mean? So it's like, you got to get through the flesh to get through the spirit, And I think that can happen in real life too. Like we have to get through our flesh and our fleshly desires and our flesh not wanting to, like you said, make time for all these different things to feed the spirit.
Yes.
And so, like you said, the spirit is willing, but it's like behind this wall of, you know what I mean? Our natural.
Like, Peter and the disciples that went to the garden with Jesus, and I'm sure they could tell that this wasn't an easy thing for him.
Right.
So you can't tell me they're like, we want to fall asleep on him. We want to let him, especially Peter.
Yes.
Bro, I don't need these guys saying
I don't need another thing on my jet,
So they wanted to, but again, they fell asleep.
Right.
Like, I guarantee they had every intention. I mean, how many times do we have an intention to honor the Lord or, in a situation and we just end up blowing it?
Right.
I think, I'm trying to, I've been trying to get in shape for 100 years. But you've seen me now. So my goal now is to eat lunch.
Yep.
No more than 30 minutes, be done with lunch, and then go walk in the parking lot for at least 30 minutes.
Yeah.
That's not great. That sucks. It's not fun. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, if I don't do it, nothing is ever going to change.
Right.
So to me, it's just a parallel of like the same thing in the spirit. Like, is it uncomfortable? Yes. Do I sometimes get sweaty? Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I got every reason not to do it.
Right. It's cold outside today.
It's cold. Yeah, I know. Today's going to be a kicker, bro. I didn't even bring my lunch. I've been bringing my lunch so I can go have more time to. They had 45 minutes to walk.
Yeah.
And just walk. But it's the same with our relationship with the Lord. Like, if I know that given my flesh, if I let it take charge, I'm not going to do those things.
Right.
And the difference is pushing in.
Yeah.
In spite of that.
Yes, that discipleship, right? That's what we want. We want to disciple the body. We want to disciple each other, right? The root word of that is discipline.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like we have to have that discipline in our lives. And then I think sometimes I don't even like to call it a sacrifice. compared to Jesus, right? Because, I mean, like, I don't even want to say, like, and I think sometimes we can, and I know this isn't a part of it, but I'll talk about this for a second. But you're talking about sacrifice, right? Like, man, like, I got to sacrifice my time to read the word. And you can be, trying to be telling somebody about this, like, and you're not trying to be woe is me, but like you kind of are if you're not careful, because you're being like, yeah, I'm sacrificing, my Sundays, my kids got sports games, I'm going to church, I'm sacrificing my Wednesday nights to go. Like, hold up, like let's compare sacrifices for a second and what Jesus laid down versus us. Like, we should flip that word. It shouldn't be your sacrifice, it should be your honor.
Yeah,
it should be your honor to give time to. And when you think about it that way, you go, oh man, like, I've been looking at this whole thing wrong.
Yeah, and I think it's a level of importance. I always say this: I'm super busy until Rockets tickets come available.
Right.
And all of a sudden, I have a few hours to go to a game.
Yeah.
And I think Rochelle even had a quote this morning I saw, basically the same thing. We always say we need more time. Mm-hmm. No, what we need is we need to reorganize our priorities.
Yeah.
Because let's be 100% honest, like, we all have the same amount of time.
Yeah, everybody.
But what's important to us is just different.
Right.
And and I know if you ask anybody, is the Lord important to you? Of course, everybody's going to say yes.
Yeah.
Like, where you spend your time ultimately shows what's important. And I'm not trying to dog anybody. I'm like, bro, I'm working on this too.
Yeah.
Of like, everything, when that scripture says, gosh, come on. You know the scripture. Hold on.
Okay, I'm trying to find it with you.
Oh, my gosh. I cannot believe I love this scripture. With you. No, I cannot believe I've just lost it. I feel embarrassed. Sorry, pod. But basically, everything you want is found in Him.
Yeah. Your treasures?
Just, everything. Anything you want is found in the Lord.
Yeah.
And found in the things of Him. But yet, we're so backwards in the way we go around it sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, if I know my help comes from the Lord, if I know everything I want, if I know seek first the kingdom of heaven and all its righteousness, all these things will be added to me. Mm-hmm. Like, not I'm doing it for stuff, but I realize that everything flows from that relationship.
Yeah. Was that
the
verse?
Yeah,
right
that was the verse.
Okay,
That's my bad.
Good.
We did that in LS Kids too. But it's one of those things, it's like, but we're so backwards in that sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
right.
That it should be, that it's so important, our spiritual walk with the Lord, that every relationship I have, like, and I know I'm not a great morning person. I'll be honest, I'd much rather stay up late than get up early, but I'm like, if I can start my day with Him, like, do I realize every interaction I have is going to come from that?
Right.
And I find sometimes for me, sometimes I got a short fuse, or I say something like, man, if I would have spent more time with the Lord, that could have had a better outcome in that situation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it's funny, God's normally the first thing that when we're cutting time out of a day or a week, like, He's normally the first thing that goes, because He understands. And sure, He does, and He loves us, and nothing changes that. But like, man, the world needs the best version of me, my wife, my kids, my coworkers, the lady at Walmart. And sometimes they're not getting the best version of me. Why? Because, like, I sacrificed that time with the Lord.
Right.
Because I didn't wake up in time, or because, I had to do this, and like.
Right.
And it's so hard to get, I don't know why it's so hard to get that in check.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's, even from the Bethel Conference, I feel like that's one of the things there that I think they really do well. Yeah. It's like, it's the Lord over everything.
Yeah.
And I know that makes a lot of sense when you say that.
Yeah. And you're like, yeah, for sure. But then you got to really, like, go through your list and see if you really mean that.
Right.
You know what I mean? We got to go through our list, our personal laundry list of what we got to do, and, like, really think, like, do I mean that? Like, the Lord over everything. Okay, for sure. I'm going to say that. I'm going to get that in my Instagram bio, or I'm going to get that tattooed, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to do that. But, like, okay, go on your list then. Look at your list of what you got to do this week. Can you not do that and spend time with the Lord? And then you'll go, oh, man, like, okay, I can see now, Yeah. I think a good way to figure out where all your time is look at that screen time on your phone too. You know what I mean? That's a big one, right?
Yeah.
Looking right there, seeing, like, where that goes, is that's where, you spend all of your time as well. And I think that, people all mean well, like you're saying.
Yeah, for sure.
Everybody means well. No one means to do that. But, like, I think it's always good to say, if you're not careful, if you're not careful, you'll find yourself, like you said, cutting out the most important thing that you need.
Well, we used to say back in the day, it'd be like, show me your calendar and your checkbook.
Yeah. That's where your priorities are.
That's where your priorities are. Like, and again, it's just, it is what it is. And I don't say that to try to down anybody.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I think we all can, we would all benefit by giving more to the Lord.
Yeah.
And I don't mean like our finance, but like our time.
Yeah.
Our intentionality of, like, God, I need to spend more time with you. I don't know anybody I haven't met anybody like this. Now, Bill Johnson could probably be this guy, but like, do you think you pray too much?
Yeah.
Do you think you read your Bible too much? Like, I've never met anybody that goes, I do too much of that. Everybody I meet goes, I do too little of that.
Right. Yeah. Do you talk to any person, any hero of the faith at the end of their life and go, do you think you spend too much time with the Lord?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. You might be, I spent too much time at the office. I spent too much time goofing around. I spent too much time. I waited too long. But like, there's never the people I know that are real about it are like, man, I need to spend more time with the Lord. I gotta cut all this natural stuff away.
Well, I know it's hard because like your work and family and all that, but like if we truly understand, they would get a better version of us. All of that would be better if we spent more time with Him. It's just, but I know it's hard. I know it's, I even look at Peter, who was with the Lord.
Yes,
he's with Jesus like all the time and still drops the ball. So it's not that we're not going to drop the ball. But we need to like David a little and go like we need to go back to Him and not just. And the problem is most of the time for a lot of people, it's we tend to go back when we mess up.
Yeah, right.
When if we did the work before, maybe it would save us from messing up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Don't stop going back after messing up. But also, what if you? Yeah, exactly. Like it's all like I said earlier. When you're at the end of yourself, you go to the Lord. What if you go to Him first when a situation comes up? Yeah. Maybe your outcome is going to be a little bit different. You know what I mean? Sure. Maybe. You don't have to, grovel back to the Lord, but you can celebrate with Him for getting you through that, Yeah. And I think that's a huge thing. Like you were saying, I think we're going piece by piece with Peter. That next one was him cutting the ear off.
Bro, let's go.
Let's go.
Everybody, I don't know. Most people like Peter for that.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, I think you're like, you talking about my boy? Like, no.
Peter's a man of action, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
for
what
sure.
are you gonna do? Like, I don't know, man. I know he gets, Jesus didn't want him to do that for sure, but I think I'd rather be known as a guy slashing the air than one of the guys just let it happen.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's like you're saying, the right heart. Like the right heart is that like y'all are trying to take him away.
Yeah.
And Jesus is like, bro, this is a part of the plan, but he can't get that through his head, you know? I mean, it's so funny because you're like, the disciples are like, you didn't tell us about any of this. But like you go back and look at Jesus being like, one day there's going to be speaking to them.
Let me ask you this though. Let's think about it. Me, you, and Jake's in the room today.
Right.
We're there. We've read the book. We know the plan.
Yeah.
If we somehow were transported back to that time, could you let them just go like lock Jesus up and be like, all right, we know it's part of the plan, but like, I still don't know that I could let it happen.
Yeah, and then what they're going to do to him. You're like, no, I can't let it happen.
Yeah, like exactly. There's no way, even knowing the story, I don't know if I could be like, just sit here and do nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
I got to swing once. I got to do something. I got to push somebody. I got to say something.
Yes. So I think that's so funny, but yeah, like add that to the list, like times that, Jesus is like, Peter, come on, And then, which is my favorite one that you share, and I think you share this often in general, but like Peter denying Jesus 3 times.
I don't know if you watched The Passion of the Christ.
I knew you were going to bring it up because there's that. Because the way they do
it, where he like sees Jesus looking at him
at the same time.
Ooh, bro, it cuts deep, bro.
Yeah, and then your life, it flashes in your eyes of. And then what's dirty? I mean, not dirty, but like, look, what's crazy to me is the rooster crows right after the 3rd time. His heart just sank. If you don't know the story, hopefully you listen to Pastor Monk's message. But if you don't, it's like Jesus telling Peter, "You will deny me 3 times before the rooster crows."
And Peter's like, "Ain't no way, bro. There's no way. You can say a lot of things about me, but you can't say that."
Yeah,
I may have sank. I may have fell asleep.
Yeah, I may. I don't want you to wash
my feet, but I'm telling you, I will not deny you.
Yes, and he's like, "Peter, you're gonna do it before the rooster crows." You know what I mean? I'm like you said, take yourself back into that time. You've been with Jesus. You're his ride or die homie. He pulled you out of what you were doing and showed you this great life, showed you all these different things, new purpose, all of this revelation. And then you're like, so how much you love him. You know that he's the most important person in your life. And you go, you're going to, in front of others, deny me. Of course you wouldn't believe that.
Yeah, there's no way.
Yeah, there's no way. And then you read the story and you hear, and I like your progression that you were telling about it. You know what I mean? Like he's like, I think the first time he's like basically trying to be like, no. Like you were with Jesus of Nazareth, weren't you? And he's like, no, I don't. You know what I mean? The first time is like, no, chill. Like there's people around, chill out. Second time, it's like, I don't know if this is the one with the Galilean accent. Maybe it was the third one.
I know it.
It was the oath was the second one.
Yeah.
He swore by an oath.
And then he cursed it
yes.
It seems like he got again, he just got progressively madder.
Yeah, the second one he's like, no. He's like swore by an oath, like, no, I do not know Jesus of Nazareth. It's like, no. And then it's like the third time, he's like, put a curse on me if I'm lying. I don't know. Like, you bout it if you say, you know what I mean? You know, nowadays it's like, oh, my mama or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are like, ain't no way. Like, you can put it on anything, on everything.
I wonder if he was getting mad at himself too for having to do that. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to wonder, like, what's going through his mind at the time. I know it's like self-preservation. It's like, I can't believe this is happening. Like, I can imagine the emotion. But once again, there's Peter, the only one that talks about being there.
Yeah.
Where were the other cats to deny? They weren't even there to deny.
That's
true.
What I'm saying? Like,
Once again, them boys is always in the background.
Yeah, exactly. And it's always Peter that's got to be like, yeah, listen, I did mess up, but at least I was there.
Right. Like, I don't get any props for just being there.
Yeah.
No one else was there to mess up. I was there to mess up. Come on, man.
Yes. And and then at that third time, the rooster crows, and it's like, whoo, like you're saying. I've seen that scene in Passion of the Christ where like the way they do it is like he denies, and then like he locks eyes with Jesus as soon as he denies. And it's like, oh man, and I mean, that's crazy. And what I think is a huge part that you talked about that I know that you've shared with your story in your life, and I'm sure so many other people can testify to this, is that when Peter denied Jesus and he felt shame and he felt like, man, I ain't no coming back for this, what did he do? He went back to what he knew.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He went back to what he knew, really what he knew in his life before Jesus, before he met Jesus. Yeah. He went back fishing.
I mean, how many people have found themselves in a place of like, I did something I thought I would never do. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so easy on one side of life to be like, I'll never this, I'll never that, whatever that looks like for you.
Yeah.
Those of you guys watching, listening, like, but then you find yourself doing something you thought you would never do.
Right.
And man, the shame and the guilt that comes, because you just think there's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way I'll ever. Like, I never thought there's no way I would ever turn my back on the Lord.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I could not understand people that would do that in church, because you're in church, you see people like in season. Some people come in and like the Lord does a miracle like in their life or their marriage, and all of a sudden then they go back to, you're like, that is so whack.
Yeah.
I'll never understand that.
Yeah.
I understand it now.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
Because I did it.
Yeah.
But in that moment, I never understood.
Right.
How could you? I would never do that.
Yeah. Yeah. How could you? And then it was saying earlier, like, you know, going back to what you know. How could you how could you go back to what you knew before with what you know now?
Yeah.
You know, but a lot of us find ourselves there all the time.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that have went down that same path.
Mm-hmm. I think it happens a lot in movies too. When I think about it, I'm like, you know, like when the character, I can't even think of one good movie to give it as an example, but like the character, the way that movies go is that like they have this previously established life that you get to know. Like, okay, this is this person, this is what they do. It's normally like a routine they got. It's the way that they live. It's a code they live by. Then something challenges the code that they live by. They start seeing, receiving, and benefiting from this new way, and then a conflict happens, and then before there's a resolution to it, they go back to that old way, and they go back to their old life, and then people will have to come find them and be like, what are you doing still back here? We gotta go, you know?
Yeah.
And that, so many times we find ourselves with that exact movie plot in the way that we're going, you know?
It's so hard to get back from there. I'm telling you, it is. It's like, and again, not even what everybody else thinks about you, but what you think about yourself.
Yeah.
Like, I can remember one time I was at home putting together a basketball goal.
Yeah.
We lived in Sunny Hills. Mm-hmm. And some people from church like swung by after church. You know, I'm not at church. So I'm at home putting this basketball goal together. And like, you just feel like, even though people's trying to encourage you along the way, you're just like, you got to get over yourself.
Yeah.
Which is such a hard thing to do. Like, cause I knew like how I thought about people that did that.
Yeah.
And now that I'm one of them, I'm like, I don't even know what to do.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing worse than becoming the thing you thought you wouldn't.
Yeah.
And then, so coming back to faith, man, took again, it's 9 months of me. Mm-hmm. But I try to think back, how much of that was just me going like, I'm disappointed in me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I just don't want to like, how do I get over what I did?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How do I get over being like so disappointed in myself?
Yeah.
And knowing the truth and knowing who God is, and like, if I ain't gonna lie, it just feels like there's no way back from that.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do I? And you lash out at people. Why? Because you're disappointed in yourself. Mm-hmm. Much less talking to the Lord. Like, I can't even do that. And like,
well, I mean, where do you get that headspace from? That is the world's formula, right? When you do something, let's just say irreversible, like irreversible isn't a word in the kingdom, but it is a word in the world.
Yeah.
You do something, let's just say, right, you have this guilt and shame because you've made this decision. Well, you get that mindset of no one's going to accept me back because that is the currency of the world that we live in, right? Like you see people that get canceled. Let's just say even getting canceled nowadays. You get canceled, like sure you can come back, but you ain't going to come back the way that you were.
Yeah,
you're never going to be fully restored.
Yeah,
right in this world.
Well, even Bill Johnson mentioned that at a moment in the conference of saying like, you know, you shouldn't associate with this person because it's not going to be a good look for you.
Right, your image.
Yeah, and if you think of the pastors that have fallen in this last season, noticeably my boy Carl Lentz.
Yeah.
You know, I love listening to his podcast and this story of redemption. And Perry Noble's another one who lost his church. And again, I understand there's things you do in the natural, and there's natural consequences, 100%. Yeah. But the fact that everybody just cuts and runs.
Yeah.
That's never set well with me.
Yeah.
And again, it's funny if you listen to Carl Lentz amount of time, like he's like, I understand all of that. I don't hold any like, and he very much like I created all this problem.
Yeah.
But I think my heart goes out because like I know what it's like to fail the Lord. And again, not in like a church thing and some of the things they went through, but like I understand the concept of like feeling like, man, everybody cut and ran on me.
Yeah.
And like, from something that I caused. So like you can't blame anybody.
Yeah.
You know, I could blame nobody. Again, there's situations that led to me feeling that way, but like, you know, and I know people say that like, you know, it's people that hurt you and not the Lord, and people like, no, 100%.
Yeah.
But when I think of Peter and I think of that moment of like, I just blew all 3 years I had with the, like in one moment.
Right.
Like denied, denied.
Right.
Like, I can imagine him thinking, this is game over, bro. And like, go back to what I was doing before. Like, I can imagine being on that boat, and I don't know, you know, he wasn't alone on the boat, but did they talk about it?
Yeah.
Did he just sit there and go, I can't believe I'm back here?
Yeah.
I can remember, like, again, I can remember whenever Leash came home and goes, you know, the church needs a youth pastor. And I can remember telling her, we could so do that if I was where I should be.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Right, yeah.
Like, if I was living the life I know I should be living, that would be an opportunity that God could use us for. But I've chosen not to do that, so we can't.
Right.
Like, if I was still playing ball, I could be on that team.
Right.
But I choose not to play.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, right.
Like,
yeah.
it makes no sense. You know what I mean?
And I mean, that's where the message comes in. That's where the message title comes in. Like,
yeah.
In the world, failure means end. But in the kingdom, like, failure ain't final, you know?
I mean, this whole thing's built on redemption.
Yes.
You know
the whole story is this love story of a father trying to get his child back.
Yes.
Right? In the beginning, he lost him. And sending his own son, he redeems all of us, right? And back into that story with Peter and Jesus, like, ooh, I get teared up talking about that because, man, that's so powerful. Of like, you know, he's on the shores, and it's so funny because I like the way that you described it. Of like, it's not even confirmed that that's Jesus on the shore, but the small chance that it is. What does Peter do? Peter just runs up there and whatever it is.
Yeah.
Did he dive? Did he trip and fall and belly flop? Did he cannonball in there? He was trying to get to that shore.
You know what else is crazy? He wasn't on the boat alone.
Yeah,
but he's the only one that jumped in the water.
Yep. There you go.
And took off. Again, that sums up who Peter was.
Yep.
Peter was out there.
Yep, he was out there.
He was always in the front leading.
Yep.
And again, he wasn't afraid to take risks. And a lot of times they didn't work out, but like he never stopped.
All right, I'm just putting this together right now, but think about it. The story of Jesus walking on water and telling Peter from the boat, come to me, right? Whatever it was, like Peter reliving that experience now, being on this boat, seeing Jesus. Like, number one, he didn't even wait, did Jesus say come to me? Did he yell something from the shore?
I know they were like saying that's Jesus. No, and Peter, again, as far as my recollection, y'all can correct me in the comments, but like once he thought that was Jesus, he went.
Right. Like, isn't that crazy?
It wasn't like he said, hey, jump out of the boat and come get me. Come see me.
Right. Like, I just love that parallel of him walking on water and falling to being like, bro, I will dive in this water to get towards you right now.
No, Peter would have walked on water back to him.
Yeah, that would have been another one.
Fire,
and then he goes to Jesus, and imagine that moment of being like, first of all, imagine the embrace that he gives Jesus right there, and the emotions with that of being like, man, you're right. I denied you. I failed you. How could you ever, could you, I know that you're mad at me.
It says they had breakfast, so it's not like they even got right into it. So
yeah.
I wonder if Peter, I'm trying to think, was he waiting like at any moment I know he's going to ask me about it.
Yeah.
Was Peter trying to, what am I going to say?
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Like, and then, that moment of redemption that Jesus gives Peter, the moment of, him asking him, do you love me?
Yeah.
And I know, and I love the way to think about it too, of just being like, do you love me? And Peter's like, what? You know what I mean? Like, think about how many times, for me, it's like it's like a joke now of like, your girlfriend, your wife being like, do you still love me? And be like, how could you even ask? Right. You know what I mean? Like, what do you talk about? Or I know it's just funny to be like, we're married. What do you mean, do you still love me? Like, yes, of course I do. But like, so I even think that's funny of like, Peter, I'm sure, just so many times over these 3 years with Jesus, telling him how much he loves him, all these different things. And then Jesus to be like, do you love me? And Peter to just be like, yes, of course. Again, do you love me? And he's like, yes. And the third time he asked him, he starts getting like emotional. I think it says he gets emotional. And he was hurt. It hurt his feelings, I think.
Lord,
is what
you know
it said.
I love you.
Yes, Lord, do you know I love you? And he's like, those 3 times that he denied him, the Lord redeemed that right there.
Yeah.
With those three moments of really just redemption,
Yeah.
And I mean, that's so powerful. And that is, like we said, that is what the story is all about, of like this failure that Peter had, these many failures, honestly, like Jesus redeemed and washed and covered every single one of them. And Peter went back to him.
Yeah.
And like, I just think that's such a good just snapshot right there of our lives and our and the difference between the world and the kingdom,
Yeah.
Like, failure is the end. You know what I mean? Failure is the end in the world. Like, failure is, and I think sometimes some people tap into some, like you were saying, like there's some people that tap into some kingdom theology that don't even know they're dabbling in it.
Yeah.
I even think of that Wayne Gretzky quote, like, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I think that people tap into that, but like for the most part, there's not a lot of redemption going on.
Right.
And I think, like I said, when people in the real world, they tap into it, they see how powerful it is. Redemption's a big word.
Well, everybody loves an underdog story. Like, you think of movies, Rocky, or some of these things.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to see the underdog win. And
right.
Like, literally, that's our story.
Yeah. Everyone wants to see a good, like comeback story.
Yeah. I love comeback movies.
Yes.
Like that's us.
Yes.
But sometimes it's so hard for us to take that step of like,
even turning around, coming back.
Yeah, just turn around, come back. I mean, it's the story of the prodigal son.
Right.
I mean, he's eating in a pig pen and finally decides, like, man, the people that work for my dad live better than me.
Yeah.
I know I can't be his son anymore, but could I just work for him?
Right.
Like, how many times do we take that mentality with the Lord and go, I messed up one too many times. I did this, I did that. Like, I mean, I felt that. I felt when I came back to church, like, God could never use me again.
Right.
Like, I know I've messed that part up, but I'm okay with just being forgiven.
Yeah. And then you look at your life, you specifically, you look at your life since then, your latter's better than your former. The thing that you went on to be able to go do through and I love when you said that, when you were cooking at the end, because you were like, you went through all these people, I think you were like David and Peter and Paul and all those people, and he's like Bunk's story. You know what I mean? I'm like, let's go, because it's like, it's so true.
Yeah.
Look at your life. Look at the testimony of what God did through somebody who was broken.
Yeah, and like that's all of us. We can all have that kind of. It's all going to be different, but like, I was wishing I thought back afterward. I was like, man, I wish so many ways. One, I wish I could have got Cato, Pastor Kelly, Lisa, them to come back up and sing at the end, because bro, that last song of worship was so fire.
Yeah.
So great. But I was even like, I wish I could even articulate it like they Peter went back fishing. Like, you guys in the pews right now, like, if you went back to whatever that was, get out of the boat and come to, I mean, again, our altar time was so great, and God moved in so many lives. But I'm like, man, we all have the potential of that story.
Yeah.
Of I was this, Yet when God got involved, it turned into this. And I just want people to understand that, hear that, believe that, that, your latter is better than your former.
Yeah.
No matter what's happened in your life into this point, no matter your age, I don't care what you've done, God will redeem and continue to use you and build that story. And it needs to be shouted from the rooftops.
Yes.
But so many times we don't want to talk about where he messed up. Man, I love that Peter had those L's that I can look at.
Yep.
But I even love more whenever it came down, the Holy Spirit came, somebody had to deliver the word. The church was birthed.
Yeah.
Who was it? It was that guy, Peter.
Yeah. Yeah.
After all the mess ups, all the times he, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
I think it's crazy. Like what you're saying, you look through the Bible, go look at the people that God used. These are not perfect people, and they're far from it. You know what I mean? You even talked about, I think you talked about Jacob for a second.
Yeah.
And I like to tease Jacob behind the camera here because it's so funny because when he's and Pastor James will get into it too. If you look at the name of Jacob, it means deceiver, all these different things that I always troll him for. But him right there, that's a dude who dropped the ball so many times, and he's he becomes Israel, and all these different God's chosen people are through his lineage. How is that? How can God use people because his math is different than ours. We don't have to be worthy. We have to be able to submit to the one who is.
Yeah.
We are not this blameless people. It doesn't mean that you don't strive for that. I'm not saying you don't strive to live sinless and blameless. But what I'm saying is that no one is too messy for God to turn around their life and be able to use them.
Yes.
And I even love what you're saying too about being if you even felt that you were at this level with God and then you've fallen since then, what you're trying to say, what I think you're trying to say is and what you said on Sunday was that God has even greater things to continue to do with you.
Even if there's not what we would call sin in your life, sometimes that's our measuring stick with the Lord is I'm not sinning.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. But are you living for him?
Yeah.
I'm not talking about I didn't cheat on my wife, or I didn't cheat on my taxes, or I don't know why I'm on this cheat thing, but I didn't, whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
Sometimes we think
I didn't do the big ones. I didn't kill anybody.
But no, how's your walk with the Lord?
Yeah.
And sometimes maybe it's a business, or maybe it's something you did that you just feel like a failure. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? There's been things that all right, let's talk about this. Since we're on a podcast.
Yeah.
I've been talking about doing a podcast for a long time.
Maybe minimum 2 years, maybe 3.
I've been talking about it for a minute, and why I don't know why I want to do one. Maybe because I listen to so many.
Yeah.
Even that, it's not that I'm sinning by not doing it, but what are the things you feel that you just want to do?
Yeah.
That you want to partner with the Lord? Why do I want to do a podcast? I want to tell people about Jesus.
Yeah.
So is it the Lord has actually called me to a podcast?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Is he going to be mad at me for not doing it? Probably not.
Yeah.
But I got an opportunity to do something for him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And I'm trying to say that because sometimes we just think it I feel like a failure sometimes. I'm man, look at the things I haven't done for you, Lord. Mm-hmm. Not that he's even asked me to, but sometimes we can just feel a certain kind of way.
Right.
Sometimes you can be living your Christian life and not necessarily doing anything wrong, but you just feel like God has more for you. Mm-hmm. Maybe you're wanting to serve and you don't. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So sometimes we even feel that kind of way about ourselves, and God's saying, I got more for all. We know God has more as our trademark. God has more as our thing here. It's and I think the longer you follow the Lord, sometimes it's easier to let your foot off the gas.
Yeah.
And go I'm not doing any of the big things. I'm not really doing anything wrong, but what else does God want to do in your life?
Yeah, living for him is different than just dodging sin. You know what I'm saying? Like you were saying.
And sometimes that's where it's I'm just trying not to mess up.
That's the measure stick. And also, maybe that's all you know. Maybe that's all you knew. Maybe that's all that was shared with you was that just live this behavior modification life. Right. But that's the thing. That's
Let's go.
That's what I love about our church, and what we try to see is that even the big words encounter Jesus on behind the stage. We actually believe that you can do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We actually believe that there's the creator of the world, that you can have an intimate moment with him. You know what I'm saying? And that you can live for him. And it's not just a go to church on Sunday. It's not this big checklist. You know what I'm saying? It's it's the whole tree. It's not just the star on top. It's the whole tree. It's your life. Your life is based around what you have, what living for Jesus.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that's what makes it full. That's what makes it. That's why we call it the heavenly adventure. That's why we call these different things, because when your life is for, we've been saying a lot. What's a big thing recently is I'm not rich, but I'm wealthy.
Yes.
Right.
Right.
You know, it looks different. It looks different than the world. We're not wealthy. I mean, we're not rich with monetary values. Now, some of us have that gift from the Lord, right?
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that like that's not what we're talking about. That's not what the thing is. And people might go, okay, then I don't want it. Well, let me stay for a second because let me just share with you that what the Lord has for you is even greater than what the world has for you, you know, because all those things come and go, but like this is eternal. This is forever. And you spending time and giving more and more time to him. By the way, the Lord always wants more time with you.
Yeah, 100%.
Always. Even if you give him 23 out of 24 hours a day, he wants some more time with you, right? Yeah. And because like, and we should want that with him too. We should want to give him every single second that we can. We want to spend time with the Lord in the morning, but keep that window open with the Lord through every situation, through every conversation, through every thought. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like make it the basis of your day. Make it the foundation, you know, because like that's the life that's going to produce the most fruit, you know? And like we said, the goal is to live for him, not to produce fruit, but you can't deny the results that you'll have from living for him, you know?
Yeah. Again, failure's not final, bro.
Yeah.
Get out there. You know, I used to always say, pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Me and my boy Lagonis, we would talk about that, like, and sometimes there's certain things that even my podcast, there's certain things I don't want to do because I'm like, if I can't do it as a 10, I don't want to do it.
Right.
Let me tell you what, your 0 in this world ain't helping anybody.
Bam.
But even if I did it at a 4, would my 4 be better than a 0? 100%.
Absolutely.
I think it goes back to the story of the talents, right?
Yeah.
I give this one. The one guy buried it. Why? He didn't want to mess it up. Like, man, get out there. You know, I love seeing some of our youth have started podcasts or share on TikTok or like, bro, you're out there doing it. You're out there just putting it out in the world. You're trying to, again, spread the gospel. Like, well, I'm like, if I can't do it and this be the super polished version, like, bro,
you got to look at
cares?
these. Yeah, and these people that you looked up to, these people that you see that are like, man, they got to, like, they all started somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody started with this one small thing. Everyone started, David started stewarding the lambs.
Yeah.
That's what he started doing. Joseph started by being a good servant. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you look at their life and then you see all the results that they have. Like they all started by stewarding this small thing with the idea of it's okay if I fail.
Yes.
Right.
Failure's not final.
Because I know it ain't the end.
Failure ain't final.
Let's
get it.
Final.
So remember
Let's
that
go.
wherever you find yourself at today.
Yeah.
Like no matter how you messed up with the Lord, no matter how business, family. You know, I started to talk about a girl, Jessica Gilcrease.
Yeah.
Like, you know, she's very open to her story. We've all been a part of her story. You know?
Yeah.
Her first husband was taken from her. And God has restored and she's remarried and has a son. Like he has the life that he intended for her. Like it's easy to look at a situation that comes your way and goes like, this is what it is.
Yeah.
Like nothing's final with the Lord.
Nothing's
whether you've
final.
turned your back on him, whether you've had a relationship that didn't work out, whether you had a business that failed, whether you just blew it the whole way. Like nothing's over. That's why I love when I talk about the thief on the cross who probably did nothing right.
Yeah.
But in that moment, found himself in paradise with his Savior.
Yeah, it takes one right decision to be able to wash all the unright.
And it doesn't make sense but that is what amazing grace is.
Yes.
That God redeems us and restores us and had a plan for us. And whether you're Peter, who it seems like took a bunch of L's and God turned it around, or whether you're just a regular person that goes, I turned my back on the Lord, what I do, like come back to him.
Yeah.
It's not final. I love that book analogy. I love it's a chapter in the book. Like the story God is writing with you. Like, man, I want my life made into a movie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because what is a good movie? Ups and downs.
Yeah.
No offense. I love Paul. Paul's my man, but I don't know how good his movie would be because he's just always on it.
Yeah. He had it started bad in the beginning.
Like,
but then
it's really bad. But once he turns, it's, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I got this roller coaster story going of like, I mess up this day, but I bring it back the next. You know what I'm saying? And like, to me, that's life, and that's okay. But get up and get back to the Lord and get back to reading your word and praying and coming to church and reaching out to people and whatever God's put in your heart. A podcast, an encouragement online, whatever you want to do, like just get out there. I love that. That's what we get to do. I love that we have a Savior who loves us and redeems us and forgives us.
Right.
That when we drop the ball, it's not over. It's not like you messed up one too many times. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's always like arms open, come home.
Yeah.
We just got to do that more. We got to use that more.
Absolutely.
We got to access that more.
Because failure ain't final.
Failure ain't final.
Well, Pastor Vunk, thank you for sitting down with us. Fire podcast.
Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Jake, for keeping us looking good back there behind the camera.
Yes, let's go. And we will... first of all, make sure you check out the message. Obviously, we're real passionate. We're real fired up about it. So go check it out if you haven't. And we are so excited just to see what more God has for us. And we'll see y'all next week.
Thanks for listening. If you want to check out full messages, you can find us at LS Church on all podcast platforms. And you can watch full services with worship at LS Church Alvin on YouTube.